Bitcoin is in a hell of a position right now. We've been trending down for not actually that long overall, only a couple of days, but people are finally starting to crack. And we're also seeing some really weird stuff with the long and short ratio. Like, I had to refresh this twice just to make sure that I had the right data, but we've got more than 2 longs for every short position on Binance Retail right now. Bybit also majority long. Binance Top Trader is also majority long. It's been like this, by the way, for quite some time, where people have been skewed heavily long, but this is quite extreme. And there's a lot to unpack here. I think that there are some certain key levels that if Bitcoin loses, we could be in deep trouble, and I'm not going to bore you. I'm actually going to tell you that straight away. It's this level right here. I'm going to tell you why this level is very important a little bit later on, but this is a critical level for Bitcoin in my opinion. If we lose it, we could be fine still, and there's good reason to believe that we would, but I really don't want to see that happen. So look, let's break down where we are first and what might happen in the short term. Then we can talk about, targets like 30K or 20K and so on. Make sure you hit up the like button if you're excited for that as well. Thank you all very, very much for all the support lately. Have been really noticing that. Thank you very much. We have been trending down and managed to find support at 22.7, exactly as expected, because this is the top of our band right here. This is the bottom of our band right here. And so naturally, we did manage to get a very nice bounce off here. This wick we're going to ignore because this wick wasn't produced on other exchanges. And so this wick is the important one right here, and you can see, it's perfectly in line with the other bounces we had. So again, TA proving to be absolutely flawless, always happens, always will happen. This is just how TA is, which is absolutely phenomenal. And what it means now is that we're basically in a sideways range as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this could turn out to be a little bit of a uptrend before a leg down. That would still make sense as well, but no matter what we're doing right now, I am personally viewing this as a consolidation pattern. Now the reason I'm saying that is because if this was actually just a pullback that would result in the market moving up, we probably would have done that by now. Now, I'm not saying that that's definitely what we're going to do, right? We could still mess about a little bit and then move up. That could obviously happen, but generally when we get our bounces, exceptions like this do apply, but generally when we get our bounces, they're going to be pretty quick. We're going to move down and then we immediately start moving up. This is what bounces look like. I think a lot of people in these markets just haven't really had enough time to almost learn what these things look like, but this is what a bounce looks like, right? We're looking for conviction. This is the key word. Write this down if you like to take notes on my videos. I know there are a few of you, and guys, shout out to you, because I know I couldn't do that, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for conviction, right? Where we come down to a low. And by the way, it's on all of these bounces. I'm just pointing out the big ones, but every single one of these bounces, we've got this conviction where the market kind of drops down and then fairly quickly afterwards we start moving up, right? That's a real bounce. But when we get something a little bit more like this, there's very good reason to believe that it could drop lower, right? And that's kind of what we're doing right now, unless we recover this up right now. And that is very important, because if we look at some of our key support indicators, we have lost them. The 4-hour Ichimoku cloud we've lost. We're somehow kind of getting rejected off it right now. If we do manage to work our way up into it, then this could definitely act as a bit of a launch pad for Bitcoin. That's generally how it works when we drop below a 4-hour green cloud, but at the moment we don't have it. On the 1 hour, obviously we lost our support a long time ago, but we now are also encountering resistance. And I think this is important and worth paying attention to. This was quite a reliable indicator on the 1 hour time frame. Look at this massive bounce right here. Look at this little bounce right here, another bounce right here. This is a fairly reliable indicator, especially as resistance as well, guys. Look at how we were hitting this cloud, finding resistance in it consistently. Just very predictable. Even this last time here, just very, very predictable hits of the Ichimoku cloud. And look, right at the top of the line as well. The top line, the bottom line, these are obviously the most important parts of the Ichimoku cloud. So consistently useful, guys. I don't know why, people, there's this like running meme sometimes on this YouTube channel. It doesn't really happen these days because you guys know how fucking cool this indicator is. But some of you guys have been like, Sammy just sticks to the Ichimoku cloud and that's it. And I'm like, yeah, fucking right I do, mate. Like, this is the best indicator I've ever found in my life. Go ahead and type this into the YouTube search bar to watch my tutorial on how to get it, how to use it, and so on. That's actually part of the wider 𝐁𝐻 Academy course, which you can get by following these steps on screen. I am proudly a massive proponent, if that's the right word, of the Ichimoku cloud. This is a phenomenally accurate indicator. It's mind-blowing how good it is. So yeah, you're damn right. I do lean on this indicator and I love it. Actually, that's the wrong way to say it because I don't lean on any indicator. If we look at the daily, I say that as I switch to the daily. If we look at the daily, we do still have support quite far away. And here's the thing. I want to start painting for you what the other side looks like now, because like I said, to me, this is a consolidation, you know, kind of range right now. If we were going to get a bounce, I think we might have gotten it already. I just can't be super bullish looking at how, you know, everybody else and their bloody grandma is bullish right now. Like, to me, that's just not giving me a lot of confidence. Fear and greed is okay. You know, we're at a reading of 51. You know, I mean, I would have liked to see a deeper drop by now. It really hasn't dropped very sharply at all. If we look at this on the 3-month time frame, for example, like look at this drop right here, 58 down to 48. This was a 10-point drop across 2 days, and it's still not that much. But on this occasion here, we've managed to drop down by 10 points, and it's taken like 5 days. So you know, we're just not losing that bullish sentiment right now, which we don't necessarily need to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say everybody needs to be like absolutely scared of 15k happening again for the market to then go up. That's not necessarily what I'm saying, right? That's what happens at the absolute bottoms. In situations like this, we just need a pullback, right? We just need to reel in that excitement a little bit before we can then blow it up again. And so you know, a little bit of consolidation would probably do that as well. You know, if we just kind of trade sideways here as well, would definitely do the trick. We do know that there's some really good support with the daily EMA ribbon right now, you know, so if Bitcoin just kind of decides to fuck about here for, you know, a week or two, you know, and then go up, that would also make a lot of sense, you know, and it kind of fits the, you know, the trading style of Bitcoin as well. Not saying that that would happen, but I think that's an important observation. But the thing that I do want to draw your attention to is that this 22.7k level is quite important, and I think that if Bitcoin does lose it, Bitcoin's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, so let's take a look at what this looks like. We're just looking at this 22.7k level right down to the pre-FTX high right here. This is, again, it's one of those classic ranges. You've heard me say it a million times, I'm going to say it again, where when we lose a level like this, we generally tend to drop down to the very next one. When we break a level like this, we generally tend to rise up to the very next one, with 1,000,001 examples of that, because this is just such a reliable way to carry out technical analysis. Again, take a look at this. When we initially dropped down to this range, bam, straight line down. We even recovered straight line up. You can't really see it. I'd have to zoom in quite far. Look, you can take a closer look now. It's stunning. Look at how reliable it is. I mean, just consistently, just right through this range, right all the way to the top pretty much, and then all the way back down, all the way to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top. It's very, very consistent, guys. I mean, you know, to be able to trade a range like this, this is where you make a lot of money, right? Everyone's like, fuck, I want to make money, I want to trade the markets and stuff like that, but nobody really has the patience to just wait for key levels like this to break and then trade them. I've been talking about this for a very long time. This is how I make most of my money as a trader, is just trading ranges like this, because it's so fucking simple, you know? Like, it's just, I've identified a support range, I've identified the next support range below it, and I've got a 5% gap here that I can trade on 10x leverage, slap that shit on OKX, get my 30k rewards, you know, and get my rewards of up to 30k. You know, a 50% profit, this would be 50% with 10x leverage. You know, I put in, you know, let's say $10,000 for example, you know, that already becomes, you know, $15,000-$16,000 just off a very, I mean, it's just easy, you know, like, it's just a very easy trade setup, and that's what I really like about it. You know, as a trader, I'm not looking to complicate my life. You know, this is what this channel is about, right? I mean, you know, yes, I am going to talk about what might happen from the analysis side, but for me, being a trader is more important than that. And I'm just interested in, like, can I game this range? And this is a very gameable range. I mean, this is what we want as traders, right? So very, very nice range here, kind of 5-6% range. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I do have to highlight to you guys OKX, because they are running this phenomenal reward, which ends in 2 days now at the time of me recording this YouTube video. You get up to 30k in rewards with OKX if you sign up using my link in the description down below. Registering gets you up to 10k, depositing gets you up to 10k again, and then trading gets you up to 30k. And there's another link for OKX available to only the first 500 of you. I don't even know how many of you have used that yet. It might already be gone, I'm not sure, but definitely check that out. Just if the link works, it's available. First 500 of you guys are going to be getting some other exclusive rewards on OKX as well. Super cool. And guys, stack that on top of Bybit, you've got another 30k, and this is guaranteed rewards. OKX is up to 30k, Bybit is guaranteeing you up to 30k, just in straight deposit bonus. So literally whatever you put in and whatever you trade with, you're going to get back as basically demo money that you can throw into the markets. And if you stack that on top of Prime XBT, you've got another 7k right there as well. You've got $67,000 in bonuses. It's fucking crazy to say out loud. Check out those links in the description down below to take advantage of moves like this. Just for example, getting that bonus on Bybit, by the way, like, let's say you didn't get a 30k bonus but you got a 10k bonus, like, that's just a free $5,000-$6,000 profit profit on a move like that if it's something that actually works out, right? I'm not saying that that's going to work out. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but that's just a very, very easy setup. And I really do like the look of that. So a little bit of a drop down would be absolutely fantastic. The thing is that would put us then down at this low that we set towards the beginning of February, mid of February, and that's important. You know, dropping down to a level like this isn't a small deal in my opinion. You know, I mean, this basically means that we are, you know, more or less losing our structure of setting higher lows, and it also kind of paints, you know, a bit of you know, we're starting to get a bit of a head and shoulders here as well. You know, if we do something like that, that would be pretty bad, because after moving down here, we do want to see a bounce up to this level again. But if we get rejected here, that's a pretty, I mean, you know, that's basically a 3-4 month head and shoulders pattern. I mean, you know, that is something to pay attention to. And I don't care about head and shoulders themselves, right? What I care about is what they represent. I want to break this down for you really quickly because it's been a while since I've spoken about this. You know, a head and shoulders pattern is something that looks a little bit like this, where you've essentially got, you know, 3 peaks right here, but the first and last peak are at the same level. The second peak gets a little bit higher, and we keep the same neckline, the same support level. Now, this is really important because a lot of people, you know, they just look at head and shoulders and, you know, their brain starts worrying and they're like, okay, the market needs to drop now. But let's take a second to understand what we're actually looking at here. It doesn't actually change the conclusion, but it does change our understanding of it, which allows us to use these kind of things with a little bit more certainty, should I say, in the market, and that is very, very useful. And again, guys, if you do appreciate me talking about stuff like this, do me a favor and just throw up a like on here as well. Double check that you're subscribed as well if you haven't done so already. Many of you guys watch this channel and you're not already subscribed, so go ahead and fix that now if you want to catch this content while it's hot. Obviously, it's very time sensitive. We've got our first peak right here, and the second peak basically shows us that we are trending up, right? Everything up to this point, if I just drop a vertical line right here, looks absolutely amazing. It looks like the market is moving up. It looks like it's moving very healthy. That's absolutely great. But it starts to get a little bit concerning is that we then drop down to the same neckline again, and this is basically where we are right now. Like on this chart, we are here right now. You know, we start to drop down to the neckline again, and we're like, okay, this is kind of concerning. But you know, we're still in an uptrend. Obviously, we've done a lot of cool shit to get to this place as well. So, you know, we're gonna, you know, and this is how it is. This is how sentiment is, and you know, we're seeing this with the fear and greed index, with the long and short ratio. We're seeing this right now. This is what sentiment is showing us, that, you know what, like we're pulling back, but we all have a lot of faith in the market still, right? And that's okay. That's totally fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Then we start to mount our next attack, and this is really the only important leg here, is that on this occasion we're expecting new highs, but if we top out at the very same place again, what that's showing us is that we didn't have strength to break higher on the first attempt. We did have strength on the second attempt, and we lost it on the third attempt again. And that's just too many attempts, because all the while this is happening where we are trying to break out, we haven't actually set new lows, right? And so if the bulls are basically fucking up opportunities to move the market higher, eventually you have to expect that the bears are going to step in, right? If the bulls have had these multiple opportunities to take the market higher, but the same support level is held, you know, we have penetrated the resistance here, but we haven't penetrated the support. So after so many attempts, it's just a case of, well, whose court is the ball in now, right? We've smashed the ball out of one side of the court. It's got to be in the next side. It's got to be in the opposite side of the court now, and that's bearish, right? And so if we do manage to get the rejection here, that is the death warrant for Bitcoin as far as I'm concerned, and we do start to see this drop down here, ideally with a retest of the neckline, the kiss of death, and then we drop down. So that's what a head and shoulders pattern means for me. You know, obviously other people might not understand or even look at it this way, but if we do start to paint something like this, that's where it's going to become a real problem. Now, the other issue is that, again, we are in a pattern of setting higher lows. Now, let me take a slightly more clean chart to show you this. If we take a look at the key lows that Bitcoin has set, look, we've got lows like this right here. These are all getting higher. Each of these lows getting higher every single time. Now, if we do end up, you know, kind of failing this level and dropping down here, we're not setting a lower low yet, right? We're still overall, each of our lows are getting higher. Of course, by the way, it goes without saying, but I don't know how to draw this. Each of our highs are getting higher too. I don't know. This is probably, maybe I draw it from this high. See, each of our highs are getting higher too, right? So this is great. Like, we've got the right pattern. Now, if we do end up losing this level, it's not the end of the world, because we're still not setting lower lows, but we're coming, like, we're flirting with that. You know what I mean? Like, we are coming uncomfortably close to doing that. And I don't necessarily think that's a big problem, because this is such a good support area for Bitcoin, right? This 21.5k area, this pre-FTX high, is such an important level for Bitcoin, you know, because of what happened with FTX, because of just how high the market has gone. I mean, this is actually a really healthy place for Bitcoin to pull back to. If we take a line to draw this from the top to the bottom, this is a good 15% pullback, you know, and this is after, from our absolute market low, we've rallied up by 63%. To say we dropped down by 15% now is so reasonable. It's so reasonable. I'm totally okay with that. And so this is not something that I'm worried about. But if we do drop down here, it's like, all right, well, you know, we've got like $100 of wiggle room now, you know, and if we fuck it up, we're setting a lower low, and that would be bad. Like, that's where this actually does start to become a little bit concerning, because if we do start to set a lower low now, like, let's say the next low gets set down here at 20.8, which still, and you know, if you've been watching this channel, you're going to know that I wouldn't really be worried about something like that. It still wouldn't be that big of a deal, because we could just kind of, you know, end up finding ourselves in a pattern that looks something a little bit like this. We form, you know, some sort of a, you know, falling wedge, and then it breaks up, right? And so it doesn't really matter what happened here. This would make a lot of sense, and that's actually what I would expect if we do drop down. But if you go against more, if you go with more kind of traditional T8, which is the camp that I live in anyway, like what I just said is a little bit different to that. It's not very traditional technical analysis, what I just said, you know, with the falling wedge. Real traditional analysis would basically dictate that if we lose this this low right here, and we set a new lower low, then actually we have a very high probability of now being in a downtrend, right? And that is really worth paying attention to. Like, that is the key level, and that's why I said at the beginning of the video, I told you which level is important, but only now have I told you why it's super important as well. Smash up the fucking likes if you are enjoying this one so far, legends. This is very, very important. Now, if we do end up losing this level, the next key level that we're going to be looking at is this 19.6k range, and that's, again, it's because it's that same gap right here where, you know, generally very, very common, Bitcoin goes all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, and so on, just constantly. Another very, very nice range. Now, this range is actually a little bit better because it's bigger. This range is about 7-8%. Again, slap on something like 10x leverage, and you're nearly doubling your money if you're able to game a range like that. There's just so much potential in this range, guys, that you know, it's kind of mind-blowing. You know, it's a really, really good range to be a trader right now. This is pretty much what traders wish for in general. So I'm very, very happy to see what we have available to us right now, because again, as a trader, there's just so many opportunities right now to take advantage of, and that's why it really, really does pay to be ready on key exchange. Whether or not you use the exchanges I'm talking about, it pays to be ready to trade them if the opportunity arises. You don't have to trade it, but if you're ready to, at least that's smart, because if you then decide later on that you do want to take advantage of something, but you're not even set up to do it, that's going to really suck. And that has happened to me many times. Don't make that mistake. Just be prepared from the beginning. Trust me, it is a way smarter strategy. So dropping down to that support area, very much on the cards if we lose this. And this is the ultimate support, right? This is the big daddy support for Bitcoin as far as I'm concerned. There is no indicator showing support for Bitcoin down here, but that's okay with me. There was no indicator showing support for Bitcoin down here as well. This would be a, this would actually, and this is where it gets, you know, kind of interesting as well, is this actually kind of starts to form a bit of an inverse head and shoulders, you know, where if we drop down to a level like this, you know, we're then kind of looking at, you know, like, so this was the head, and it's not perfect, right? Because we would have had this go all the way up here and then come back down, right? So we're missing this entire leg. So it's not perfect, but what we have are some of the same characteristics where we'd be setting a low, setting a slightly lower low, and then breaking, and then not breaking that low, which means that the bears have now missed major opportunities to drive the market lower. So it's time for the bulls to do the same thing again. That would be absolutely phenomenal. So this is all the bear side. This is what happens to the downside. I really don't think that we would lose this support area. You know, what would mean that we lose the this support area, in my opinion, would be an extremely explosive dollar rally. We are seeing quite an explosive dollar rally right now. This is exactly what we expected on the YouTube channel. I've been talking about this for a very long time, so zero surprises here whatsoever. In fact, I was warning you guys that this seemed like a possibility from basically around here, because I said that this bounce was a little bit too strong, right? I was kind of like, everybody was on board with the dollar crashing, and I was warning you guys that actually, guys, this is support, be careful. We could find a bounce. Towards the end, I started to flip my bias and I joined everyone else, and I was like, you know what, maybe we can just drop lower. Just go back and watch my videos. This is like mid-January, late January. You can see what I was saying about the dollar. I was talking about it nearly every day, you know. But right when we got this bounce, I snapped back to reality. Guys, I do make mistakes as well, obviously. At this point, I snapped back to reality, and I was like, actually, this looks a little bit too strong right now. Certainly looks like there's some potential for the dollar to rally, and up to a level like this would make a lot of sense. Now, it could go significantly higher. The thing I want to remind you guys about again is that the dollar is in a very strong uptrend, has been since the very beginning of 2021, managed to top out, you know, kind of around the middle of last year, I don't know, like September, October last year, you know, and now we've pulled back massively. So a pullback is exactly what you need in order to keep moving up. If you think we're going to keep moving up, this would absolutely decimate Bitcoin. And that's the only thing I think would decimate Bitcoin. If we see a $20,000 Bitcoin again, a $19,000 Bitcoin again, falling into that big support area that I outlined for you guys right around here, right? This really nice big range right here. If we see Bitcoin dropping down here, to me, that would have to mean a dollar that's at least up to like 110 on the dollar index right here. So quite a big increase. Are we going to get an increase like that? I don't really know. I've actually got a really big video for you guys coming out soon. It's actually going to be a bit of a like series, and I'm very excited to show that to you. I need a little bit of a pointer from you. So this is like, I'm thinking maybe a multi-part, because I've got a few really strong reasons that I think the bear market could be over, right? And I mean really strong, to the point where I'm about to shove some capital into Bitcoin to buy, you know, which for me is a big deal. And again, like moves like that, my trades, my big investment moves, I only tell VIP members about, you know. So if you want to join and kind of see what I'm doing in the market in real time, then you can join by following these steps on screen. But those of you that are in VIP are going to know that I don't make big investment position changes particularly often. I mean, it literally might be like once or twice a year, but it almost always works really well. Like, I can't remember a time where I've made a big investment move like what I've just described and it went wrong. You know, it actually, hang on, there must be one. Probably like, I probably bought Bitcoin at like 30K, you know, just before we dropped or something. There was probably something like that, you know. But generally I'm talking about like my big moves between Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example. I would just move a lot of capital from Bitcoin into Ethereum, from Ethereum back into Bitcoin. It's been a key strategy for me for a very, very long time, you know, and I'm seeing something like that shaping up right now to really open up the bull case for Bitcoin. And that's exactly what this is a bull case for Bitcoin. I've got like 1 to 5 very strong signs that the market could be ready to rally up, and I want to know from you, how do I present that to you? Do I put it in one huge video? Do I make it a multi-part series? Do you even want to see it? If you want to see it, let me know that you want to see it in the comments down below, and and just do that by saying make the bull case video. And if you want to go one step further, tell me how you want to see it. You want to see it in one very long video or a few kind of shorter videos instead? I'd be very curious. I'm leaning towards making it a longer video. Let me know though if you actually want to see it anyway. And again, make sure you are hitting up the like button and staying subscribed with the bell icon checked as well, because that video, when it comes out, you are definitely going to want to watch. That's a very, very big deal for me. Probably going to be one of the biggest videos I will make within 2023. So definitely make sure that you are able to watch that. Some of you guys don't get notified even from YouTube. Just check the settings app in your phone. It might just be that you didn't turn notifications on for YouTube. But if you want to join my Telegram channel as well, we do occasionally. I've stopped notifying you guys about videos being uploaded in the Telegram channel a little bit recently, but you do get more free analysis from myself and my team. Looks a little bit like this. Obviously, I've blurred it out just so that it doesn't get confusing, but just literally this link down here to join my free Telegram channel, and then you get a lot more free value from myself and my team. So definitely worth checking all of that stuff out. Now, like I said, big rally for the dollar would potentially be what drops Bitcoin significantly lower. That's all the bearish side. Now let's talk about what happens if the market does manage to recover. If we manage to recover from here, it's actually much the same as what I said previously. Unfortunately, and I did say this as well, we might have to expect a little bit of resistance here. You know, when we kind of managed to get above this range and then fell back into it, you know, actually it wasn't on this occasion, it was before, over here. See, we quite clearly, you know, we quite firmly got above this resistance area right here, this resistance line. When we came back below it, you know, we did have to find a little bit of resistance. It wasn't perfect, but we did have to find a little bit of resistance at this line again. So, you know, I mean, I'm saying that so that, you know, we're at least open to the possibility. I'm not saying that that's definitely going to happen, but I am certainly saying that there's a decent probability that it will happen. If we are able to break it, again, probably just a straight line up. That's exactly what we did before, and down, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down. Very, I mean, you know, ranges like this are just too easy to trade. I mean, it's just too easy. But and again, I mean, you know, percentage wise, like, look, if you're trading these moves, you know, I've just given you like 3 amazing examples. Like this is a 40-50% move. This is a, you know, 50% move. This is a 70-80% move. I mean, what does that even look like? I'm just curious. If we put in, you know, times 1.4 times 1.5 times 1.7, like, what does that even turn your money into? I'm just curious if you compounded this. A fucking $10,000 turns into 36K. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's absolutely insane. Now, this is assuming that you trade the moves perfectly. You close them entirely at the peak of the trade, and that you don't make a single loss and so on. So obviously, you're not going to see results like this. But even if you get like half of this, you know what I mean? Like out of like kind of small ranges, right? Like, I mean, this wouldn't have been hard to do. You know what I mean? Like to basically, you know, to go from 10K up to by the way, if anyone knows how to do this, how to do a chart comparison with log scale, please let me know. To go from 10K to, you know, what would half of this be? I'm so bad at math. To 18K, you know, to get $8,000 in profit, you know, off like quite small, like basically to nearly double your money, you know, that's really, really powerful. And again, the best thing that you guys have available to you is risk-free abilities to trade this stuff. OKX giving you up to 30K in rewards is huge. I mean, this is so much value. Bybit literally, I mean, you know, OKX, you know, there's a few different ways that you can get that reward. Bybit's reward is just a straight deposit bonus. Literally, whatever you deposit, whatever you trade with, you get money back that you can trade with. I mean, you can throw that money right back into the market. It's crazy. Same for Prime XBT with up to 7K and access to these other traditional finance markets. You know, I mean, it's just so much firepower you have to trade what is, in my opinion, I mean, it's just such a nice range anyway, you know, that it just doesn't make sense not to take advantage of it. So definitely do take a look at that stuff if it's something you're interested in. A rally up to here would make a little bit of sense, and I think that if we are able to get here fairly soon, I think we're going to break it. You know, I mean, you know, and we might not break it instantly, right? I mean, we might, you know, mess about a little bit. Maybe we, you know, kind of something a little bit like this, maybe a sharp pullback, you know, like a very quick one, maybe like a quick pullback, and then, you know, kind of consolidation at the top. But I think we're going to break it. That's my point. I don't think we're going to see like another big rejection and then, you know, we have to look at it again. I think it's actually going to come pretty quickly, you know, and then when that does actually happen, if it does, of course, because nothing is guaranteed, again, there's nothing stopping Bitcoin from getting up to 30K as well. So this is the real big range. Like, this is the very, very exciting one, because this is like 17-18%. Again, I mean, I probably wouldn't trade this with 10x leverage. This is going to have to be with a lower leverage number. I've actually already got a trade idea planned out for that. I've already shared my idea with VIP members as well. That's actually been kind of ready for a little bit. So the exact details of everything I do, including how I navigate my positions, whether it's a profit or a loss, are all shared inside of VIP. So definitely go ahead and check that out if you think it's something you'd be interested in. You know, so nice breakout there also, I think well worth, you know, expecting if we do kind of manage to get back up to this resistance level. You know, I think that there would be a lot of pain in the market, and I think that, you know, that pain would exist purely because people are trying to rebuy these lows, or maybe rebuying these lows. You know, are we going to get it for that reason? I don't actually know, but yeah, what I do know is that there is potentially a little bit too much bullish sentiment right now, and that's why I think short term I'm not totally closed off to the idea of the market dropping down. I don't really want to see that. I know for sure, I feel for sure that if the market can get above some of our, next resistance levels, that's it. We're just going to start flying. But even if we do keep dropping, like even if we fall down to this pre-FTX, kind of drop high that we had right here, take a look at, we've still got really good support on the daily EMA ribbon, right? It's not quite at the same level, but we are going to see a bit of the 200-day EMA as well. We've also got some of the key moving averages, just normal moving averages, the 50-day right here, the 200-day right here, so there's still a bit that could help Bitcoin. I don't want to be completely closed off to these ideas, but yeah, ideally we want to see a level like this hold. We really want to keep maintaining that kind of higher low structure, in a very, very obvious way, like obvious changes where our lows are obviously getting higher. This is what we want to see, like something like this is fine. This high right, this low right here is only slightly higher than the previous one. It's okay, right? At least it's something. We want to see something, dropping down to this level. It's fine. Like I said, it's a really good buy. I'd probably buy Bitcoin down there in my opinion. I think that would make a little bit of sense. But again, just in terms of maintaining market structure and the strength that we've got, my take is let's not give the bears a chance. At the moment, short term, I do have to say that, to me, it's just not looking amazing. Whether that means we go sideways or down, I don't know, but I don't really think we're going to move up. Like I said, I think if we were going to move up, we would have done that by now. I'm still open to it. It's not like I'm shorting Bitcoin or anything. I'm just going to have to just watch how this plays out. Okay, this is an incredibly long video. If you have enjoyed this one, you know exactly what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bells, all that good stuff. Check out OKX, Bybit, and Prime XBT for up to 7K, 67K, my bad. I missed out an odd $60,000 there to get up to $67,000 in bonuses. And if you want to join 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 VIP, a group which has made and saved people way more than $67,000, I'm teaching you the shit that's made and saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars in these markets, if not actually millions, then follow these steps on screen as well, and you can jump inside of my 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 VIP group. You can send me a message, ask me how to join, put you in direct chat with me as well. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. You know exactly what to do. I'll see you all in the next one. Let me know about the bull case video as well, just if you want to see it, and if you want to take it one step further, let me know how you want to see it as well, all in the comments. Cheers.